Welcome everybody to Burning the Ship with Quentin and Kyle with another edition powered by Louisiana Catalyst, where we're bringing you business resources in North Louisiana to help you and your business grow. Today we're joined by Jay Mulhern with Express Employment and a lot of other hats, which I'll let him kind of talk about all he has going on and what he can do to help you in your small business. Jay, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So you're talking about the other hats. I'll just get them on the table, get that out of the way. So I do own Express Employment Professionals. We are a franchised employment agency. We're 850 small businesses ourselves across the nation that service small businesses in our community. We service all kinds of businesses, but obviously we have a heart for small businesses. So this is kind of special to me. Some of the other hats I wear, I serve on the board for both the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and the West Monroe Chamber of Commerce. I've helped with kind of focus their workforce development for both chambers and have worked with both chambers to put some things together in the community to try to stimulate workforce development. So happy to be here. This is obviously near to my heart. So
right, well, glad to have you. So we knew we'd have the guru of workforce development here for this topic. I said nobody else better than.
Yeah, I saw him in the parking lot, so he'll be in just a minute.
So what we talk about workforce development. Everybody knows there's this shortage of employees, but more so for North Louisiana. What are some of the challenges that the small business are seeing, and what are y'all at Express and also the Chamber kind of looking to do to try to help fill those gaps?
Yeah, that's a couple of really big questions. I'll tell you what we're seeing. What we're seeing because of the recent events with COVID and things like that really kind of stalled things as far as hiring and workforce. What we're seeing is an increase in the need for workforce. And that's kind of pure supply and demand too. So what happens after that is with a huge increase in the need for workforce and a low supply of it, then the prices is going up. That's really what we're seeing. We're seeing an increase in pay rates. We work with all kinds of different businesses, anything from manufacturing to accounting, and everything in between. And everywhere we're having conversations with our clients, the businesses that we help. We're having to talk to them about raising pay rates. That's just what we're seeing out there right now. Now, if you want to switch over and say what are our community partners doing, what is the chamber doing? We are partnering with some of the best workforce development entities that we have here, whether it's through things that are going on with the city, which you guys are doing. Delta Community College, we partner with them a great deal. They are probably one of our strongest forces right now in the area to help with workforce development. And also with both school systems, Washita Prairie School Board and Monroe City School Board, we're working with them, and ULM. So we're really reaching out everywhere we can to develop that workforce and to make sure we're developing not only the workforce that we need now, but the workforce that we don't even know we need 10 years from now. Right. That's the key, is trying to figure out where do we have to be 10 years from now, because the jobs that we need to be training for or having people think about now, we don't even know exist.
Right. Being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far as Express Employment, if I'm a small business, what services do you offer? And what does that look like whenever what need do I have and what am I coming to you for? Right.
Well, if you're coming to me because you need some jobs filled. You're coming to me because you need to get the right employee in the right seat. So what we would do is we sit down with you, we get to understand your business, get to know your business, and get to understand your needs. And then what we do is we would give you consultation on, again, what we just talked about. What's a good pay rate for this type of position? Is it an accounting assistant? Is it a starting position in a manufacturing floor? Is it, whatever it is, what's a good pay rate for that? And we'll talk with you about that. And then what we do is I've got people on my staff that all they do is interview people. We spend all day, every day interviewing people, as many people as we can get in our door, so that we can take those people and we can understand what their good skill set is and what their work history is, and we can understand what the right job for them is. And then we play matchmaker. That's really what we do. Right. We're just a matchmaker. We match up these people with this great work experience and skill sets with the clients that we know and the needs and the skill set needs that they have, and we just match everything up and find some great people for great jobs.
What would you say, relative to pre-COVID, what was a new challenge maybe that you guys faced when COVID and even now kind of maybe the ramifications of everything that went with everything shutting down and whatnot?
Yeah, I think the biggest change that we see across the board is remote working. You know, that was not a completely foreign concept before COVID, but it's certainly not as prevalent as it is now. So those jobs that can do that, you're seeing that shift more and more and more. And you're seeing that expectation from employees also. There's a little bit of flexibility that lends itself to that from an employee's perspective, but there's also higher productivity that we see in things like that. So you see that, and really what that leads into is a change in expectations from the workforce in terms of what was important to people before, you know, primarily pay or maybe good time off or things like that. That's not, some of those are still as important, but it's not even so much work-life balance, it's work-life interaction now, you know, how you just kind of marry the two together. So just what was important to people before is not as important now. And that's some of that's changing because of generational things, and some of it's changing because of just different expectations. I think we all kind of pushed pause and said what's really important, you know, during COVID. So that's what we're seeing. And that's the biggest challenge for any business, whether it's a small business or a large business. The biggest challenge is understanding that shift in what's important to employees and then checking to see, is this something that I can provide for them?
Right. Have you seen it become more challenging to fill those voids where working at home just isn't a possibility?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's, you know, we all became a lot more aware of just a general overall community-wide health care and health protection, I guess. And so what that's done is it's taken some people who were a little bit cautious about it before and made them extremely cautious now. So that combined with some things that the government did that were needed at the time to kind of allow people to have some time to stay home. You know, you kind of combine those things, and we're kind of almost training a workforce to not be available. And so that's part of the challenge for those jobs that you can't work from home for the manufacturing. Those what do we call them right at COVID, the critical jobs, you know, those jobs, there's definitely a shortage of workers.
Are you still seeing, I know at one time I was hearing a lot of talk about, you know, had the Great Resignation, but I felt like we were going to get into a season of really a battle for talent.
Yeah.
Is that ongoing now, and how long do you see that kind of?
Yeah, no doubt. I think we're in a new world, to be honest with you. I don't know how long it's going to last because I think it's a brand new world. I was telling you guys before we got on the podcast here about some research I was doing recently about small businesses. And one of the things that we may not realize is this Great Resignation has pushed some of these people into, you know, maybe I'm a guy who sat and worked in the corporate world for 20 years and things changed because of COVID. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I've always dreamed of opening up my own business. Let me just go do it now. So that Great Resignation has shifted what's going on. It's shifted those who had an entrepreneurial bent already. It's shifted them to go ahead and say,
burn the ship.
Yeah, burn the ship. Why wait, right?
You know?
Yeah, burn the ship.
Say it, you know?
Yeah. Right. I mean, I was one of those guys before COVID. I love the title there, burn the ship, because I was a guy that spent a lot of time in corporate world and just said it's time. Yeah. You know, but I think that was a catalyst, you know, to do that. So.
Nice two plus.
Like that. See, that's an automatic invitation back, right?
Dive into that a little bit, if you would, as far as you and burning your ship and what you did and what made you make that, you know, leap.
Yeah, you know, probably not much different from a lot of other people. I had that itch for a long time. And I remember telling my wife probably 3 or 4 years before I left corporate world, I said, you know, I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know what, but I got to go and do something on my own.
Sure.
I was in a job in a corporate environment. I'd spent all of my career in the corporate world, and I was in a job where I was kind of stuck. I knew I was never going to get fired, and I was never going to get promoted because I was managing a division that nobody else wanted to manage. And I felt like the best way I could say it is I was given more and more responsibility and less authority. And that was the trigger for me. When I realized that, and I said, you know, this is my name that I'm putting out here, because I was in a sales role, and I went, this is my name that I'm putting out here. I'd rather be in control of that myself.
Right.
So it definitely was, like I said, I love your title. It definitely was a burn the ship kind of moment.
Appreciate that. Love it. It's the bill, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
What was that? you know, that when you were at that point in time, you know, was there maybe a hesitation from not just yourself, but maybe even more so from your wife? Because at the end of the day, that is a you kind of got to be all in if you're going to make that big of a jump. Especially, you said, how long were you with the company?
I was over 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I mean, almost
you're vested
25
in that
years.
company, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was very scary for both of us, to be honest with you. I mean, we put our faith in God, and we leaned on that a lot, to be perfectly honest with you. So that was one of the things that was kind of our rock, you know. But I'll tell you that the trigger for me was I was going, this is a franchise, so we go and we do that Discovery Day thing that you do with franchises, and it's kind of the last chance, right? It's like, do we really want to get married to you, and do you really want to get married to us, kind of thing. And I got off the plane, I saw a text message from my wife, and she said, hey, I believe in you. I'm all in.
Right.
And when she said that, I was ready to roll.
that's
Let the
powerful.
match, you know.
Oh yeah, that was exactly. That was the match that lit it. I mean, we were pretty much down the road, but I still had a chance to back out.
Sure.
And but when we both got together on it, I mean, you know, you're right. I mean, we're in this together. It's, you know, I'm not just burning my own ship.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so so that was. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, no,
really,
I
but that
love
was
that, 'cause
definitely a turning point for me.
100%. We've had, you know, for some reason I go to Coop, you know, he's talking about how he had, and Tim, you know, both of them had, you know, full support from their wives. And there's obviously a lot of uncertainty when you take that leap of faith. But having just that knowing you have that full support, you know,
no
right
doubt.
behind you, it makes a world's difference. So I love, it's just really cool to kind of hear people.
And I'm not a big affirmation guy, but that was affirmation, right? And that's a time when I needed it.
Right,
Right.
yeah. That moment when you needed it was there.
Right.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
absolutely.
What all do you guys have going on now? Anything beyond the norm?
Beyond the norm, no. I mean, to be honest with you, our biggest challenge right now is getting people in our door.
Yeah.
You know, we've got all kinds of jobs. I mean, you guys see it. I've looked at your website. You got jobs posted on your website.
Right.
There's all kinds of jobs out there for people. We are just trying to find every avenue we can find to get people to come in our door and talk with us, because once people come in our door and talk with us, most of the time we can get them jobs. I mean, there's been times recently where we could have you a job the same day or within a day or two. Because there's that type of market out there right now. So that's our biggest focus right now, honestly, is getting people to come and see us, because if they come see us, we can help them.
Right. Let's say somebody sees this that maybe wasn't aware that, you know, of you guys. How would they get in touch? What's the best way to tap in?
We make it easy, man. I mean, we're gonna make it real easy. You come and see us. We're at 1140 Oliver Road in the Twin City Shopping Center. Just walk in the door and see us. We'll see you anytime, you know, during business hours, or you can give us a call, 318-537-9399. You can go expresspros.com and fill out an online application, and we'll be in touch with you right away.
Cool.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Right.
Which that's what I'm saying. We're trying to make it easy.
That's express. But, you know,
That's right.
right out. Well, we appreciate your
Yeah,
time
absolutely.
and the information, and love the story, and definitely we'll have you back on, because I know as things continue to change, you're a resource that we want to keep plugging with companies, because to fuel growth, you got to have people, and you know,
Yeah,
try to.
yeah, absolutely. And that's again, you're asking about. I mean, I'm kind of taking over your show now. You're asking about what got us into it. When I realized this was a good business, it was a good model, and it you know, we can make a living here. But then when I can help people, and not only can I help people find jobs, it's not just the people walking off the street or coming to see us or whatever. People who are really, you know, trying to figure out what's next. But I can also help companies,
Right.
whether it's a big company that understands their hiring needs and understands how to do things, or if it's a small company that just needs a small business guy to talk with them.
Right.
You know, we can help people. So I'd love to help you guys and be back and talk about anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. It's kind of cool, actually, because you're able to have those conversations from every angle. You know, you understand being a business owner and but you're also facilitating the, you know, trying to fill voids that a small business needs. So that's really, I feel like that's kind of probably unique, Fad. Yes.
Right.
Well, I think so. I mean, I'll tell you one quick story, and again, I'm not trying to take over, but one quick story. I was talking with a friend of mine, And there was something that just kind of wasn't right. And she said, well, that's kind of like having a CEO, you know, be the trash guy. And I looked at her, I said, CEO is the trash guy at my place all the time.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
so I do understand those needs of a small business guy. You're doing everything from taking the trash out to figuring out what the P&L looks like.
100%.
I can imagine just having the relief of someone else doing the interviewing.
Yeah, that's
That's one of the things I hate doing. You know,
Well,
so.
And I tell you that's a big area where we earn our keep. The other area is if it just doesn't work out, I mean, you just call us. You don't have to have that awkward conversation. You call us and we'll get on the phone with them after 5 and go, hey man, we're gonna find something else for you.
Right.
And the beauty is nobody gets fired.
Right.
You know, I got to find something else for you, Kyle. But it's not, you know, it's a bummer, but it's not somebody getting fired, and it's not the business owner having to have that conversation.
No, I like that.
That's the toughest thing in the world to do. I've done it, and that's the toughest thing in the world to do. So beauty of us is you just call us and say, hey, this isn't working out, and we go, hey, we'll just reassign them.
Figure it out. Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
Well,
cool. Well, like I said, we appreciate you taking the time to come,
my pleasure.
come chat with us, and you know, obviously showing the business resource that you can be, but also letting us into your kind of entrepreneurial world there for a minute, and you know, kind of being vulnerable and insightful on that side too. So appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure. I appreciate you guys calling.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Glad to have you.
We'll have to do it again sometime for sure.
For sure.
For sure. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.